What's up, guys? Jeff back with another toy review. Today's a pretty exciting day. We're going to be reviewing the SUPER7 Thundercats Ultimate Lion-O figure. Now, if anybody out there isn't familiar with Thundercats, they've been living under a rock. It was a pretty popular cartoon in the 80s, but to be honest, I never really got into Thundercats. I never owned any of the original LJN line of figures. I thought they were kind of cool, but I just never really got into them. I was into a lot of different toys at the time, and Thundercats just wasn't one of them. I don't know if it was the Kmart in my hometown didn't really carry a lot of them. It was more Masters of the Universe and G.I. Joe, so I never owned any Thundercats. I did buy this one off of Toy Wiz, who got it from SUPER7, so I was pretty excited to get him. I was on the fence when SUPER7 first released these. I didn't really plan on buying one, but the more I saw these, I thought, well, maybe I ought to have Lion-O, just to add to my collection. So I did buy him. I will let you know that there's a ton of reviews of this figure out there on YouTube, and they're all mixed. They're all over the place. I've seen a lot of different complaints about certain paint decos on this compared to the Mattel one done several years ago. I'm looking at just from the perspective of somebody who hasn't got that in-depth into those toys. So I just think the figure's cool. We're going to break him out of the box, and we're going to take him back to the shop, and we're going to give him a good look over. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this as much as I'm going to enjoy doing it. Okay, guys, welcome back. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is the SUPER7 Thundercats Lion-O Ultimates figure. The first figure in the line from the SUPER7 Thundercats Ultimate figures. I believe this is basically a resculpt of the Mattel figure from the Masters of the Universe Classics line style of figures. But if you want to find out more history on that, you can probably go on YouTube and find a bunch of different reviews for it. So, what I really liked about the SUPER7 figures, and I've pointed out other times, is the packaging's just awesome, crazy cool. Even the boxes that the actual figure box comes in are neat, like this one right here. You know, just a real simple box, Thundercats logo, just cool. So we'll go ahead and we'll take him out of the box here. I always appreciate nice boxes like this because it allows me to store my figures, and I know where to find the boxes at a later date. So again, the packaging is indicative of everything that SUPER7 does in their Ultimates line. This shape that all the figures come in, or their package rather. This figure's no different. This is a super cool packaging as always. I appreciate that from SUPER7. As you can see, here he is, Lion-O. He comes with several accessories for his little lion glove, a different head sculpt, the actual Thundercat sword. He has some different hand sculpts as well. We'll take these out here in a second and take a closer look at him with all his accessories. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with Thundercats. I wish I was more familiar. Maybe I need to become more familiar. So at some point in time, I might do that. We'll pause the video and take him out of the package. Okay, so here he is. This is the Lion-O out of the package. The figure itself stands a little over 6.5 inches tall, which is basically what a lot of the Ultimates figures stand. Their articulation's really nice, but I will tell you this, just taking him out of the package, the head's a little bit loose, so seems like the wrist joints are a little floppy. He doesn't seem to be as, I don't know, doesn't seem to be as robustly made as my SUPER7 Ultimates Conan figure, but he is a cool looking figure though. I like the sword. He holds the sword really well, the typical Lion-O Thundercat sword. Now he does have these different lion glove attachments. This in here has the actual sword that comes out, which later on can form this sword, I guess, when you do a Thundercats or whatever the heck he does. But that's pretty cool. I don't mind him. Other than the wrists being a little loose and the head being a little loose, the rest of the figure's joints seem to be pretty tight. again, like with all the other Super 7 figures, this figure seems very, very solid and sturdy. So, like I've mentioned in the past, if he fell off a shelf, I'm not really worried that he was going to break or anything like that. But I really do appreciate these figures that Super 7's made. And I'm pretty excited to get this one and add him to my collection. I think the MSRP for this was around $45. I think it was like $53 total shipped to my house. Some of the accessories that came with him were these hands that can be added to him. This little book that came with it as well. And then also the different lion glove attachments. Some are like, I would assume, a little more realistic with the fur. And then you've got the more classic style, I guess. Like I said, I'm not real familiar with a lot of the Thundercats stuff. So I guess that, also before I forget, he comes with an aggressive face. So this is kind of like a layman's review, and I'm sure some of you people out there watching this are just going mind-numbingly crazy because I don't know a lot about this and I'm doing a review of it, but you know, whatever, I don't care. I'm more of a G.I. Joe guy anyway. I was just excited to have a Thundercat finally and added to my collection. Now, like I mentioned, some of the complaints that I saw online were the paint sculpt or the paint scheme and the coloring of the figure compared to the Mattel version. I don't know enough about it. All I know is I think this figure is done really well and it's pretty cool looking. He looks like Lion-O to me. So when I see him, I instantly know it's Lion-O from the Thundercats line. And I don't know, I think it's a pretty cool figure. Especially for what Super 7 charges. I mean, for what you get with the packaging and all the accessories that come with him, you know, for $40-some, I think that's a reasonable price. And I think Super 7's doing really cool things. And I really hope that, you know, I've seen all the different Thundercats Ultimates figures that they've come out with, and it's just crazy, all the different ones that they're starting to produce. And this probably could become as iconic as their Masters of the Universe line, I think. And I really hope that they continue it, and I hope a lot of people embrace Thundercats and start buying them. I just want Lion-O, so he's the only one I'm going to have for my collection. The lion glove attachments pop off of his belt, so you can attach all the ones I just showed you to it. And I also believe that, if I had to guess, yeah, the gloves, the lion gloves, pop off. You pop the hand off, and then you just slide it on there so he can have his lion glove, which is indicative of what he is in the cartoon and the comic books. I really need to familiarize myself with Thundercats a little more, especially at some point in time if somebody reacquires a license and starts to make cartoons, because I'm sure my son would be into it, I hope. Right now I'm buying up all the Mattel Masters of the Universe Origins stuff to give to him when he gets a little older. He's only 2, so hopefully he likes He-Man, because he's going to have a lot of He-Man stuff. But we're not talking about He-Man, we're talking about Lion-O. So, as far as buying this figure, I guess if it's my suggestion that if you are a big Thundercats fan and a completist and you love the line, you definitely probably need to have it, or you probably already have it and you're going to buy all the rest of the Ultimates line that Super 7's coming out with. But if you're just a collector and you like cool things and you're kind of familiar with Thundercats, I'd also get this figure. Similar to my Conan the Barbarian Ultimates figure from Super 7, I just think it's cool to have to display with some of the other toy licenses that Super 7 has. I really hope that they acquire the license to Black Star and do a Black Star figure. That would be really, really cool too. Or Silverhawks or some of the other 80s obscure toy lines, because it'd be neat to have the leader of each of those cartoon teams and just have them all displayed together, kind of like your animated who's who of badasses, I guess. But I really think that this figure's great. I'm glad I bought it. I plan on just keeping it in my collection for a while. It's a solid, good figure. There's nothing special about it. I wasn't disappointed when I got it like I was with the Voltron Ultimates figure. By the way, there's a new Voltron Ultimates figure coming out that looks like the cartoon edition. It has chromed body and more paint deco, but I don't think I'm going to get that because that figure it just doesn't do anything for me. But this guy here does, and I'm going to display him next to my Conan the Barbarian figure on my desk at work, where we're presently not at right now because we're still remotely working. But yeah, so this is it. This is the Thundercats Lion-O figure by SUPER7. It's got a lot of cool accessories. A neat figure for the price. I suggest buying him. It was a definite purchase for me. I'm not sure what all sites still have him. I know when I was searching for this figure a while back, most of the sites were sold out of him. Toy Wiz was the only one that I could find that had him in stock for pre-order. So I guess if you really want a figure like this and you're looking forward to it, get out there and look. Try to avoid eBay because I'm sure they're going to go for a ton of money on that site. But yeah, if I had to score this from 1 to 10, I'd give this figure like about a 7.5 right now. It's just a good, solid figure. And I'm finally happy that I can say I own a Thundercats figure for the first time in 46 years. So other than that, guys, pretty basic toy review. Thanks for tuning in. It wasn't anything special. I just kind of want to throw out there when I get these toys and let everybody know what I think of them. So I got another toy review coming up soon, and stay tuned, and cheers.